I'm 79 years old, and I've never lived alone until now. I had parents, then roommates, then a wife, then children. For nearly 8 decades, there was always someone nearby. Someone in the next room. Someone at the dinner table. Someone sleeping beside me. And yet, I have been lonely my entire life. That's what I want to talk about. Because when people hear the word lonely, they think of empty rooms and silence. They think of old men sitting by themselves, waiting for the phone to ring. But that's not the loneliest mistake. The loneliest mistake is being surrounded by people and still being unknown. It's having a family who loves you but doesn't know you. It's carrying yourself through decades of conversations without ever once saying something true. That's the kind of lonely I was, and I didn't even realize it until everyone was gone. Let me go back. I grew up in a house with 4 siblings. There was never quiet, never stillness. Someone was always talking, always moving, always needing something. I learned early that the way to survive was to take up less space. I watched. I listened. I stayed out of the way. When people asked how I was, I said fine. When things were hard, I handled them quietly. I became very good at being present without being seen. My mother used to say I was her easy child, the one she didn't have to worry about. I took that as a compliment. I didn't realize she was saying she didn't know me either. When I was 24, I married Helen. She was bright and warm, and she talked enough for both of us. I loved that about her. She filled the silences I didn't know how to fill myself. We built a life together. A house, 3 children, decades of routines and holidays and ordinary days. From the outside, it looked like everything you're supposed to want. And it was good. I don't want to make it sound like it wasn't. But there was something missing, and I couldn't name it for the longest time. It was me. I was missing. I showed up for everything. I went to the school plays. I fixed the leaky faucets. I sat at the head of the table and carved the turkey every Thanksgiving. But I never told anyone what I was thinking. I never said, I'm scared. I never said, I don't know what I'm doing. I never said, sometimes I feel like I'm disappearing. I thought that's what being a man meant. Being strong. Being steady. Keeping your mess to yourself so you don't burden the people you love. But what I didn't understand was this. When you hide yourself from people, you're not protecting them. You're leaving them. You're standing right there, and you're still gone. Helen and I were married for 47 years. That's a long time to share a bed with someone. A long time to eat breakfast across from the same face, to hear the same voice say goodnight. But I don't think she ever knew who I really was. She knew I liked my coffee black. She knew I hated small talk at parties. She knew I watched the news every night and fell asleep in my chair on Sundays. But she didn't know what kept me up at night. She didn't know I had doubts about my faith, doubts I never spoke out loud. She didn't know I almost left my job in my 40s because I felt like I was wasting my life. She didn't know I wrote poems sometimes, late at night, on scraps of paper I threw away before morning. She didn't know because I never told her. I thought I was being strong. I was being a wall. There were moments I could have let her in. One night, we were lying in bed. The kids were asleep. The house was quiet. She rolled over and looked at me and said, "What are you thinking about?" I was thinking about my father. He had died earlier that year, and I hadn't cried once. Not at the funeral. Not after. I was carrying something heavy, and I didn't know how to put it down. But I didn't say that. I said nothing. Just tired. She nodded. She rolled back over. And the moment passed. That happened 100 times. 1,000. All those small opportunities to be real. And I let every one of them slip away. She stopped asking eventually. I don't blame her. What's the point of asking someone a question they'll never answer, honestly? Our children grew up and moved away. That's normal. That's what's supposed to happen. But when they call now, they ask how I'm doing, and I say fine. And they believe me. Because that's what I taught them. I taught them that I was fine. Always fine. Nothing to worry about. They don't know me either. My son is 51 years old, and I couldn't tell you his fears. I couldn't tell you what he dreams about or what he regrets. And he couldn't tell you mine. We talk about the weather, about sports, about things that don't matter. And when we hang up, I feel more alone than if I hadn't called at all. That's the loneliness no one warned you about. Not the absence of people. The absence of truth. Helen passed away 3 years ago. It was cancer. Slow and terrible. I sat beside her bed for months watching her fade. And one afternoon near the end, she looked at me with those tired eyes and said something I'll never forget. She said, "I wish I'd known you better." I thought she was confused. I said, "Helen, we've been married 47 years. You know me better than anyone." She shook her head. I know what you do, she said. I never knew what you felt. I didn't say anything. I just held her hand. She died 2 days later, and I've been sitting with those words ever since. She was right. I gave her my presence, my time, my labor, my loyalty, but I never gave her me. I thought I was being a good husband by being steady, but I was being a ghost, a shape that moved through rooms, completed tasks, fulfilled duties, but never fully arrived. She spent 47 years with someone she could never quite reach, and I let that happen. That's the thing about this kind of loneliness. It's not done to you. You do it to yourself. You build the walls. You choose the silence. You convince yourself that hiding is the same as protecting. And by the time you realize what you've done, the people you hid from are gone. I'm alone now. Really alone. Not just physically, but the way I always was underneath. The only difference is now there's no one to pretend with. I sit in this house, the same house where we raised our children, and I walk through rooms full of photographs. There I am at birthday parties, graduations, weddings, smiling, present. But even in the pictures, I look like I'm somewhere else. I was somewhere else. I was locked inside myself, watching life happen around me, never quite joining in. And now there's no one left to join. My brother called me last week. He's 82, lives in Florida. We talked for an hour about nothing. And when we hung up, I sat there and thought, he doesn't know me either. We grew up in the same house. We shared a room for 18 years, and I'm a stranger to him. That's the cost of hiding. It doesn't just affect one relationship. It spreads. It becomes the way you are with everyone, if you're listening to this and you're younger than me. And chances are you are. I want to tell you something. Being known is terrifying. It means letting people see the ugly parts, the uncertain parts, the parts you're ashamed of. But it's the only thing that cures loneliness. Not company, not marriage, not children or friends or busy schedules. Being truly seen. That's the only thing that makes you feel less alone. And you can't be seen if you don't show yourself. I know that now. I understand it in my bones. But I learned it too late. Helen is gone. My parents are gone. Most of my friends are gone. My children are kind but distant, because distance is what I taught them. I have no one left to be honest with. So I'm being honest with you. I kept myself hidden for 79 years because I thought that was strength. I thought that was protection. I thought I was keeping people safe from my mess. But all I did was make sure no one ever really found me. And now I sit in this quiet house, surrounded by memories of people who loved me as much as I let them. And I wonder what it would have felt like to be known. Really known. Not admired. Not respected. Not appreciated for what I did. Known for who I was. I'll never have that now. But maybe you still can. Maybe you're sitting somewhere right now, keeping something inside that wants to come out. Maybe there's someone in your life who keeps asking how you're doing, and you keep saying fine. Maybe you think you're being strong. I thought that too. And I was wrong. The loneliest mistake isn't being alone. It's being right there. In the same room, at the same table, in the same bed. And never letting yourself be seen. I made that mistake for almost 80 years. I'm telling you now, so maybe you don't have to. If any of this meant something to you, I'm glad. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for praise. I just wanted for once in my life to tell the truth out loud. Because no one else is here to hear it. And soon, I won't be here to say it. I'm 79 years old. I've started leaving the curtains open more. I wave at neighbors I used to ignore. I called my son last week and told him I was proud of him and that I was sorry I never said it when it mattered. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Thanks, Dad. It's not enough. It's not nearly enough." But it's something. It's more than I gave before. And I guess that's all I can do now. Keep trying to be seen. Even if it's just in small ways. Even if it's too late for most of it. Even if I'm the only one left who'll ever know.